If you want to gain millions of Faze or XP in mid-game, you are in the right place. With over 100 hours of experience, I've optimized 3 farming methods, allowing me to provide you with the fastest and most efficient spots that will save you precious time. Following these methods will let you earn a crazy amount of 245k to a whopping 1.2 million Faze per hour, so you can buy every weapon and item that you want or break the rest of the game easily. Like for example, the Plague Village entrance spot that will allow you to farm Spectre enemies placed on an ideal farming route. The Undead Forest hosts some of the best farming spots in the game in both past and present timelines. The Plague Village is the earliest one you can access in mid-game, which I'm showing the spot location on the screen right now. It is unlikely that you will be missing this location since the Plague Village is part of the main story. The suggested level for this method is around level 45, but you can easily start by having a level 40 character. But if you find yourself in need for more levels, I have covered 3 other mid-game spots that you can access prior to this one if you are looking for a much earlier spots to access. Link in the description or find it by clicking the card here. If you are following my leveling guides recently, you already saw me suggest my broken Tainted Bayonet setup, and we will be using the build concept here. The Tainted Bayonet will allow you to hit enemies from a distance, which is fantastic for farming runs such as these. And of course, the first and easiest and also the strongest bayonet at this point is the Tainted Bayonet, which is upgraded to +6. This weapon basic skill is Sacrificial Edge, and if you are following my guide so far, you already know that this buff is one of the best damage boosting buffs in the game. The Sacrificial Edge will give you an immense damage boost in exchange for your life being drained per second, which is of course perfect in farming runs, allowing the user to burst down targets. You can pretty much get the Tainted Bayonet anywhere on the map as a weapon drop, since the key enemy that gives the weapon is pretty much common. However, the earliest area that you can get this weapon from is in Magmel Island, and there are a lot of corrupted soldiers in Magmel who have the same weapon. But one of the best spots for farming this weapon is in the Cliffside Underground Ruins located north of Magmel Island. Proceed to the dungeon normally and you will come across a Resurrection Stone. Activate the stone as a starting point when farming the Tainted Bayonet. Access the main long hallway near the stone and head to your left when the path splits into 3. This long narrow hallway will lead you to the stairs where the key soldiers who have the weapon are located. Kill both soldiers for a chance to get the weapon, and if they fail to drop, just jump down and access the Resurrection Stone to respawn both of the enemies. Repeat the steps until the weapon drops, and I suggest doing this as you will be getting a lot of value from this weapon, especially for bayonet lovers. Range Impact is yet another damage buff that increases the damage of your bayonets in general. And yes, the Range Impact stacks with Sacrificial Edge, so you will be hitting huge tons of damage if both skills are active. Get this buffing skill as a loot in the southeastern section of Sunken City, where you will access a ruined structure where the item is located. Power Shot is going to be our main damaging skill for our Tainted Bayonet still in this method. A skill that will allow the user to shoot a devastating single shot, which can take elite enemies in a flash with the right setup. This is one of the best skills for bayonets, so get it by progressing Josie's main story events by heading to the southeastern part of Sunken City and entering the Sunken Pylon main dungeon. The treasure chest is near the first elevator you came through when accessing the area that contains the power shot. And I am using Valentine's B rank blood code to have access to high willpower and dexterity stats. And you will be getting Valentine's blood code when you first visit the free exploration era or the pass, after beating the first major boss of Jose's main story arc in Sunken City. And I am using the Dexterity Booster Overload for the +5 dex stats it provides, which you can easily get from Magmel's crafting shop. Willpower Booster will give you 2 additional points for willpower, and you can get this booster as a reward from Lavinia's side quest by mastering her own E-rank blood code. And of course, we need every Faze we can get in every run, so the Revenant's Hunger is highly suggested, an item that increases your Faze drop percentage per kill. You can easily craft this booster in Magmel's crafting shop, but the caveat is that you need the raw materials from the enemies that we will be farming in this specific method. pretty much all types of enemies in Plague Village drop all of these raw materials. But the rarest of them all is the spectral tissue, which you can get from the spectral succubus, which is not a problem since we will be killing all of the key enemies anyway when doing the methods later on. So what you can do here is to run the method first and gather the necessary materials on the way and craft the Revenant's Hunger later on. Start the actual method by heading to the inner section of Plague Village by running past the wooden bridge. Once you enter the town premises, take a sharp right turn and follow the village path that will lead you to a steep slope. Your first enemy is waiting in here, so cast Sacrificial Edge along with the range impact to have access to an immense damage boost. Then quickly cast Power Shot to deal tons of damage to the first Spectre Swordsman guarding the slope, and finish the job with a normal bullet. Follow the steep slope and quickly take out the Necromancer enemy on the left with 2 normal shots, which is more than enough in this case. Let your stamina regenerate a bit and fire 2 bullets on the ranged Spectre located on the small bridge ahead of you. Get all of the possible loot and do a 180-degree turn and heal yourself to retain the Sacrificial Edge buff, and cast another range impact to refresh the damage boost as well. Target the strength build Spectre and hit it with a power shot to greatly damage this enemy. Reload your bayonet and shoot the Spectre once again and end the fight. Close your gap to the Succubus Spectre and heal yourself once again. Make sure to perform 2 power shots as an opener to greatly damage the Spectre while it is recovering from its idle state. The enemy will enter a bloodthirst state, so wait the animation to finish. Not like me here who became impatient, then ended the fight by firing normal bullets. Once the enemy is dead, check for the possible loot and fast travel back to the key missile in this method to reset the run. Rinse and repeat. Each run takes 1 minute and 11 seconds with the reset and loading times included, and gives you 4,500 Faze per run. Do this consistently for an hour and we are looking at 227k per hour, which is a lot for a mid-game progress. And if you are getting value so far, subscribe to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me more than you can imagine, or consider supporting us on Patreon or by becoming a channel member today, and I appreciate your support. If you simply want more Faze per hour while having fun killing a bunch of cultists, the Gorge Cave entrance spot is for you. This spot can be accessed by just progressing the main story of the Undead Forest region after meeting the supporting character Holly. So there's no chance that you will be missing this spot, but of course, here's the location on the screen right now for your convenience. The level suggested for this build is still level 40 to 45, and as mentioned, we will be using a melee build when optimizing this spot. If you are following my recent guides, you've already seen me suggest the Tainted Sword already. That works exactly the same compared to the Tainted Bayonet, where both weapons have access to the Sacrificial Edge buff. Pretty much you can get this sword anywhere as well, but as early as Magmel Island, there are a lot of soldiers there that drop the side weapon. If you notice that a normal soldier is wielding it, there's a chance for the Tainted Sword to drop. One of the easiest spots to farm this weapon is the Ruined Side Dungeon entrance, and I'm showing its actual location on the screen right now. Head to the nearby steep slope where a soldier is equipped with a Tainted Sword is located. Kill this guy to have a chance to get the weapon, and if you want to respawn this enemy, just head back to the missile and repeat. This is one of the best early swords if you are into burst setups, so I highly suggest getting one. Or you can farm and get this weapon by heading to the Cliff Underground Ruins, which is located north of Magmel Island. There's a soldier equipped with a Tainted Sword near your first missile in the area. Farm the area to get the sword, and you can clearly see the sword drop in this recording. Getting the Energy Cleave skill is highly suggested, since this skill allows the user to pull off 2 wide arching sword slashes, so we can easily wipe out all of the cultists later on in the actual method. And get the Energy Cleave as a loot located in a ruined structure in the southwest corner of Jose's outpost. The Adrenaline buff is also suggested when doing this method to further increase your damage. You already have this skill at this point since you will be getting this buff by defeating Alexis in Jose's outpost, which is a mini boss. I am using Noah's C-Rank Blood Code for this method to increase my dexterity in general, or you can use Valentin's Blood Code. Either way will work just fine. You only need 2 boosters in this method, which are the Dexterity Booster Overload and Revenant's Hunger. So make sure to check the locations of both boosters in the top 3 method in this guide. And to start the actual method, follow the stone stairs leading to the altar chamber of the cave, where a lot of cultists are located. At the end of the stairs, aggro all of the cultists in the back section of the area, and the same goes for the ones near the altar. Once you aggro all of the enemies in the space, head back to the beginning of the stairs and cast Sacrificial Edge and Adrenaline buff. All of the cultists will follow you and will be forced to funnel right in front of you. Dodge any incoming melee attacks and immediately cast a series of energy cleaves to wipe out all of the cultists that are lining up on the stairs. Get all of the possible loot and fast travel back to the key missile in this method to reset the run and rinse and repeat. Each run takes 37 to 39 seconds with reset and loading times included, and gives the user 3700 worth of phase per run. Do this method for an hour and we are looking at a whopping 358k worth of phase per hour. But what if I told you that 358,000 phase is nothing compared to the next spot? The Grotto Military Base will allow us to hunt a Spectral Wanderer, an annoying enemy that is hard to kill but not on my watch. I have a build that can easily burst the Spectral Wanderer and allow you to earn a mind-blowing 1.2 million phase per hour. And let that sink in for a minute. The key missile for this method is the Abandoned Farm Missile. So head there first and follow my map pointer here to pinpoint the location of the Grotto Military Side Dungeon, which is the key spot for this method. Once you arrive in the location, touch the Resurrection Monument, and this is the key tool when resetting our runs later on. But before we can earn millions, we need to have a little bit of setting up to do. This spot requires a character level to 60 to 65, which is easy to reach if you use the top 2 method. I'm using the Tainted Sword from the previous method with a plus 14 upgrade. Depending on how well you explored all of the current areas in Undead Forest and Sunken City, getting the stones to reach plus 14 upgrades is relatively easy. And finally, you can get one of the strongest skills in the game at this point, which is the Looming Slash. This skill will allow you to burst down targets in a quick succession, which is perfect for this method. You can get this skill by going to the northeastern part of the Undead Forest near the Riverside Church Ruin side dungeon. And at the end of the road, get the Looming Slash as a reward from a treasure chest. And just like in the previous method, the Sacrificial Edge buff and the Adrenaline buff will be used in this method. Valentine's B rank blood code is accessible to get the most dexterity and strength stats as possible. And as always, we are equipped with Dexterity Booster Overload, for which I already provided the location, and the regular Dexterity Booster, which you can get from Jadwiga's minion in Magmel. While I don't suggest equipping the Revenant's Hunger when farming Spectral Wanderers, since it is bugged currently and does not provide any phase drop bonuses. So you are welcome to equip any booster of your choice in the remaining 3 slots. If you are ready to get millions of phase, start the actual method by entering the Grotto Military Base, and in the middle section of the said fences, cast Sacrificial Edge and Adrenaline to deal the most damage possible. Then take a sharp left turn, and the Spectral Wanderer will start to notice you, and you need to observe what attacks this enemy will perform. For this instance, if the enemy embraces its sword with 2 hands and the sword glows, it will teleport at you and do a thrust attack. Look at this carefully, immediately dodge the thrust attack, and counter the said attack with a Looming Slash twice in a row. Don't mind getting hit in this method and focus on bursting down the enemy. Perform 2 normal attacks before the Wanderer enter Bloodthirst mode. And once the animation is done, cast another Looming Slash to end the fight. Get the possible loot, and head back to the Resurrection Stone to reset the run, rinse and repeat. The Spectral Wanderer has varying attacks, and if this enemy lifts its sword with 2 hands, this means that this enemy will cast magic projectiles at you. And when this happens, simply cast Looming Slash as an opener and dodge 3 times to form a box-like sliding motion to avoid the projectiles. Then finish the fight with another Looming Slash. Another strategy is if the Wanderer held its sword not too high, it would cast a white purple AoE magic attack instead. So when this happens, just perform Looming Slash twice in a row. Then the enemy will perform an overhead slash and you need to dodge it, which I failed to do so in this example, so finish the fight with a normal attack or with another Looming Slash. If you master each of the methods that I've shown you so far, each run lasts a lightning fast 30 to 32 seconds and gives you a whopping 10k phase per run. Doing this method for an hour and we are looking at a mind-blowing 1.2 million phase per hour. You can pretty much break the rest of the game at this early, but what if you are looking for a better traditional spots in the end game? This video will teach you everything you need to know, so click on it and I will catch you on the next one.